Hello, family. How are you? It's me, Stephanie, doing my first interview in a series of many with an amazing soul, Miss Ebony Tolliver. As you know, my brand Shift with Steph is all about transformation and, more importantly, creating meaningful mindset changes to take you where you want to go through shifting. So, the thing that I found so remarkable about Ebony is number one, she's my bonus daughter, which is really cool. And number two, she's the only person that went to LA with a real job and ends up being a comedian. Who does that? Everybody else goes in search of stardom and this, that, and the other. And Ebony goes for a marketing job, and look at her. The developer and producer of Lesbiana's Comedy, and her production company, Like That Productions, not that, Like Dat Productions, was created to provide a platform for all artists and all entertainers from marginalized groups, especially women, and the LGBTQ. We have to say that with elocution, people. Don't just say LGBT. Don't run those alphabets together. They all mean something. LGBTQ community. For over 6 years, she's not only performed all over the country performing stand-up, but her company, as I said, Lesbiana's Comedy, has done Zooms and headline and done all kinds of really creative things in the comedy area, not only in LA, because we have Zoom, so we're everywhere now. We're international now. And she's really taken it to the next level, and I'm so proud and honored to have her as our first guest today. So the reason why I wanted Ebony to talk is because a lot of people out there are struggling with all types of issues around sexual identity. And if I'm really truly committed to talking to people about shifting and growing and empowerment, I can't leave out all of who they are. And so I wanted Ebony to talk very honestly today about her journey. I'm going to just let her talk. I have a few questions, but I want her to just share authentically about her journey and what she went through, what she's going through, and more importantly, what she's passionate about and what she hopes to achieve. So Ebony, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, first off, thank you, Steph, for having me. I didn't know I was the first, so I'm honored to be your first Shift with Steph interview via Zoom. So thanks for having me, first off. Where do I start? So how far are we going back? Like, I was born in DC. I was raised in Prince George's County, Maryland, the best county in the country. I have, two wonderful parents. Now I have so many bonus parents, including yourself. And I have an older sister who still lives in the Washington, D.C. area. And like you said, I live in Los Angeles with my lovely wife, Natalie, now.
Tell us a little bit about your journey as far as coming out and being comfortable and proud to be a lesbian woman in this world today.
Okay, so I kind of cheated the system in a way. So so here's the thing. I don't know if I actually came out. Okay, I think I was outed, and everybody around me was okay with it. So if you have time, just quick story. I don't know if you remember back in the day, everything was paper, everything was the mail. So my parents paid my cell phone bill back in high school, obviously. And Sprint would send the whole bill itemized back, who you called, how long you were talking to them, everything. And so the bill came, and my mom was like, Ebony, who are you talking to for 90 minutes here, for 40 minutes here? She was like, so who is this you talking to all these hours of the night? And I was like, oh, that's so-and-so. And she was like, okay, well, is that your girlfriend or your friend? My mother outed. My mother straight up asked and said, so is so-and-so your girlfriend? And so I was like, yeah. And I just told the truth and was like, yes. And there was no, really back and forth or anything. Her first response was, okay, great, call your dad. So I had to call my father and let him know. And he was just like, okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know. I love you. And, but I feel like here's what I tell people all the time is, growing up, I was always into sports. You know, I was always, you know, playing basketball. And in basketball, you know, there are a lot of lesbians. There are a lot of also straight women that play basketball. So I don't want to say that basketball is a gay thing. There's, you know, everyone's whatever they are. But I think my family must have had a meeting already. I think my cousins, my aunts, my grandparents, everybody had a meeting when I was growing up and was like, look, y'all, Ebony gay. We know it. We all love her. It's fine. So when I'm, you know, was being myself, living my life,
Wow.
everyone was just okay and accepting of it. And the one thing I do know that did change for me though, once I came out to my family, was I was always myself. My family was okay with my lifestyle. It just gave me, honestly, the green light to bring the ladies I was dating around.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just kind of just be gay over here and just come to my family. But now the girls coming to the barbecues,
Right.
bringing my girlfriends to the baby showers and everything. So I was always comfortable in it. And I think my family was also accepting of my lifestyle, but it just gave me the green light to bring them on with me to every family event. So that it was just, you know, a wonderful, I a wonderful coming out. There were
That is
balloons
fabulous.
and
That is,
pinatas at my coming out party.
I wish everybody had that experience, because
Same.
there's a lot of shame and judgment around sex in general, sexuality in
Yes.
general, sexual identity. There's always something, especially with people of color. I'm not exactly sure if it's the religious thing or we just don't know. So, for
Yes.
instance, I was fascinated with human sexuality with a young age, at a young age, because I just couldn't figure out why people were so crazy about it. And I was the perfect person. The more you put on me, like being in a parochial school and this is
Right.
bad, I was like, well, what's all this about? And so I started reading, and my parents were like, why are you reading this provocative material? I'm just trying to learn since y'all made it so bad.
Right.
So
right, exactly.
and so that's what made me say, no, we're not gonna act like Ship with Steph is only about, you know, cis, heterosexual, whatever. It's for everyone. And it's super important that I embrace that, I explain that, and that I bring you on to lead people down the journey that we're all gonna encounter people who are different. We need to love and respect them and get rid of any shame and anxiety that we have, because it's really about you seeing life the way that you are, not the way that it is. And so when people say something about is somebody gay or is somebody this, I said, look, I know who I'm sleeping with. I don't know about you, but I know what I'm doing. I don't care what they're doing. Are they a good person? Do they have good intentions? Are they treating me well? That's what I care about. And that's why I really wanted to expose and talk about the fact that there are many marginalized people in the gay community, and it's not right and it's not fair. And so in your journey, if you were to look back and think about, I wish I had more of this, or I wish I had more of that, or maybe I wish that this was more available to people. Are there resources that you think the gay community can benefit from, such as open healthcare? There's a lot of healthcare disparities, not only against people of color, but also the trans community, as an example. Do you think those resources are particularly necessary and missing and helpful for people?
Definitely. Well, if I just back up, for me, honestly, and you mentioned it just a second ago, the church. So to be honest with you, I miss church. Like, I love church. I love praise and worship. I love church. I love a great, captivating pastor who can, you know, influence, you know, and inspire through the words, right? But as soon as they start talking about gay stuff, I'm checked out. And I'm like, you know, so I miss, you know, so I know, you know, back when I used to live in Maryland, I used to attend church with my family. And one thing I know, I'm glad I left, because I'm, you know, honestly, church is virtual now. So if the pastor were to say something, I'm just going to slam my laptop, because it's, you know, it would be rude for me to just go ahead and close the casket. But I feel like if I was in church, I would not likely, I mean, I don't know, but it's different from getting up from the pew and walking out. And so I would say, now living in Los Angeles, there's a lot of spiritual centers or like non-denominational places where I attend And there is no mention ever of sexuality, orientation in any of the messages. And I don't know if it's a different type of church or pastor, or what it is that makes certain churches feel the need to put emphasis on the gay community. But years for years, I felt no love in those churches.
Right.
And so that's one thing that I wish there was more community support and comfort in the church.
Right.
I love a good old praise and worship session. I love gospel music. So for me, I'm just more spiritual now than religious, because the religious houses or, certain pastors have just kind of, they don't make us feel comfortable.
Right.
That's just for me.
I understand. And there was I went to a spiritual seminar years ago, and the the leader said something so pivotal. She said, religion is for people who fear God, or who fear hell, and spirituality is for people who've been to hell. So you find who you are. You find who you are when you've had some challenges. I feel like I have to tell you, I didn't know that both of your parents were on the same page. Usually one is more, and I never asked. And I happen to be married to one, so I probably
well, here's the thing.
a little bit of
when it came to that, like, my dad, he's super cool. He
Right.
Mr. Cool, Calm and Collected, Mr. Suave. He was just, because like I said, he already knew. He was like, cool, whatever.
Right.
And my mom also, she did not have a problem with my orientation. It was just being, and I was in corporate America for 10 years. Mm-hmm. She knew the challenges and the struggles that I would have growing up as an adult. Because I keep saying came out. I was outed when I was 15, 16 years old. So she was, I think her main concern was the rest of the world.
Right.
And she was just like, listen, your sexuality is fine. I just want you to be prepared for the people out here in corporate America and college and the rest of the world that are going to treat you a certain way or look at you a certain way. And she, as a mom, you know how y'all are just super protective.
Yes, we are.
And you want the best for your children. So I think her main concerns were the impact it could have on me outside.
Right. And let me just say, her mom is one of my BFFs, which nobody believes, but she helped me get my business going. She's an amazing accountant and a dear friend. And so I just want everybody to know it's a little bit odd when people look at us sideways when we all blend together, because they're like, what? Y'all vacation together and hang out together. And she's really fortunate to have two incredible parents and bonus parents as well. So,
yes, I've hit the lotto on parents.
We're all very
Yes.
blended and very supportive of each other. And that's why I really wanted to step forward and, as I said, highlight you first, because this is an important issue in our community. It's something I care about. It's something that I want to give light and balance to from a positive perspective, not around trauma or anything bad, because A, there's enough of that going on, and B, I want you to tell your story, particularly as you launched into the Let's Be Honest comedy track, because that brought a certain levity and really bling and coolness to being gay in comedy, because I never really got it until I saw you perform. And when you stood up and said, well, yeah, I guess y'all know that I'm the LGBTQ part of the program.
Right.
And I thought that was so cool, the way that you were able to just take who you are, what you believe in, your comedy, and blend it into this most incredible product. So talk a little bit about your mission with that and what you're looking to achieve.
Yeah, definitely. So the Let's Be Honest comedy show, I started as a way to honestly put all of my lesbian friends on stage together. So I had been performing in Los Angeles for about 5 years, and the Comedy Store, the Comedy Union, all these clubs in Los Angeles, and I was always either I was the one woman on the show, or say there were other women, I was on the Black woman, and possibly there would be times when, bless you,
thanks,
when I was the only queer person. And so a whole lineup of a whole show, and there's one of us. I'm just like, okay, I get it's a male-dominated industry, it's white, whatever. So I would always go into the show, and the first thing I would say, because my appearance, I'm not sure what and also I've changed, I've shifted and transformed my look over the years too. And so I would come out and then I would just straight up say, this is the LGBTQ portion of the show. And that would get everybody, because they probably already kind of figured it out. But the moment you tell them what they're like, okay, now we're on board. And then I won them over and I would just start doing my jokes. Yeah. But let's be honest, comedy show came from, well, I know so many funny lesbians, but there's only one of me on these shows over here. So how about I produce my own show, put us all together and make it a whole event? Mm-hmm. And people be like, well, how can you do a show with all lesbians? All y'all gonna do is talk about the same stuff. Not at all. We all have different stories, different upbringing, different relationships, different experiences. So I can put a lineup of 5 lesbians on a show. None of us have the same material because none of us live the same lives. Right. So I just wanted people to see that just like Black people, we're all different. Lesbians are different. We're not the same. And I want people to, they think, oh, y'all all the same, and we're not. So Let's Be Honest comedy has, it has actually been an amazing journey. I have met so many funny lesbians that I didn't even know before, because me opening up the platform. I've had, lesbians and other queer comedians as well, guys and everything, send me their clips. Like, I want to get on your stage, or like, can I get on your stage? Here's a clip of me. And so I'm meeting people I would never probably have met. I'm able to use the platform to showcase other queer brands. So I would wear lesbian brands on stage, and like, oh, this outfit is from so-and-so. And so it's basically just open doors for our community and for the world, because it's a safe space for the comedians, and a safe space for the artists to show their talents. But they're allies and other straight people in the audience who would never have known these women or artists if I hadn't put the platform together. So I'm just glad that I created it, because honestly, I tell people all the time, I am not the funniest one at the show. People are like, oh, Ebony, I'm coming to your show, you're so funny. I'm like, you just wait. You look at so-and-so, because sometimes like I'm hosting and I'm excited and I do my jokes, but I am so ready to bring up the comics so that I can sit back and laugh with everybody else, because there's so many talented comedians out here. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not even the funniest person. Just wait till you see who I got in the back. And so it's just so fun, and I'm learning a lot. And I'm just building relationships and building a community around just my idea that, let's be honest, lesbians are funny.
Right. Oh, I've really enjoyed every one of your Zooms, and the people are funny. They really are. And just they're great comedians. They're all professional. And you could tell they love what they do and miss doing it. So I'm just so thankful you were so ingenious to come up with this concept of Zoom to give them a big platform, because now they're internationally known as a result of people from all over the world Zooming in. So it's a really cool concept. So tell me, I absolutely love your wife, Natalie, to pieces. And so I know you do too, but what's the best part about being married?
Oh man. I can't, just one thing?
Well, okay. You can do 5, 6, however many. I don't want to limit you.
No, it's all right. It's the best thing for me about being married is literally having your best friend with you through everything. Like it's like having your everything with you with everything. Like, now, okay, like people, okay, yeah, we hang out, we go on vacations, all the fun stuff, but also she is somebody who I can do nothing with. And we're great, like, and so having my best friend with me at all times through anything. And the one thing is that I can talk to her about everything. Okay, here's the thing. She is, people might not know me, but I'm kind of, what do you say, neurotic. And so she really has taught me so much. And, like, I'm like, if I'm on 1,000, she's like, okay, Ebony, well, first of all, let's consider this and let's think about that. So she's taught me patience. She's taught me grace. She, I don't know. It's just the best thing about being married is just having someone who makes you a better person. Like I've just grown so much from her, because God knew what he was doing when he sent her to me.
Absolutely. You
Like,
two are a beautiful couple, and I'm so happy
I
for
mean, y'all
you.
don't know if y'all can see this little photo, but
Yeah,
we
show the
literally
picture. Show the
showed.
picture.
I hope my books don't fall down,
Oh,
but I don't know if y'all can see. This is one of those no hate campaign photos.
oh, yeah, I remember that. That's beautiful. I love
Yeah.
that.
So,
Yeah,
but yeah, but she, I mean, she's just my best friend. Let's see, I think the books didn't fail, so it's gonna have
that's
to wait.
okay. That's
Um,
okay.
and just being able to have a partner and someone to go through life with you, the good days, the bad days, um, and yeah, it makes going out in the world easier when
It
you have
does.
somebody who
Yes,
has your
yes.
back at all times.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that is wonderful. Well, I really appreciate you taking time. I just want to mention one last thing. You may have noticed Ebony's amazing shirt, Vote Like a Black Woman. She's so creative. She went to the march, flew from LA to DC to visit the family and to go to the march back at the end of August, and just like told people, come get this shirt, y'all, and sold the shirts. It was incredibly ingenious. I have some
Yes.
too. In case you're running out, you can come and see me. And so, what made you think about getting people out to vote, getting young people to work the polls, just being a responsible citizen? How did that all come about?
Oh man, look at the world. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this place. Like, and I ask people all the time. I'm actually going to put I'll probably share a post or something soon this week about my number one question to people is, do you feel safe? That's my
Mhm.
question. Do you feel safe in this country right
Right.
now with this administration? That's the only question you need to ask yourself. And
Yeah.
I tell, if I'm speaking to, okay, obviously Black Lives Matter, right?
Hmm.
Right now, as a Black person, I don't feel safe
Hmm.
because my life can be taken and there's no one going to be held accountable for that.
Right.
Then as a woman, I don't know if people remember back in like 16 or 17, right after the inauguration, they were doing abortion laws and trying to tell women what to do with their bodies, what we can and cannot do with our bodies. So I don't feel safe as a woman with my
Right.
body.
Yeah.
And then I'm queer, and there's attacks on trans lives every day. There are hate crimes going on every day. So for me myself, with this administration, I don't feel safe.
Hmm.
That's just a question I have to ask myself every day. And I tell people, okay, say you're not Black, you're not a woman, and you're not queer. Do you still feel safe in this administration on how they handle COVID? No. He lied. I know. I lied. He lied, and so many people died. So I'm sure if you care about your health, you don't feel safe with this administration. Then I'm here in Los Angeles. We're literally on fire, and this administration doesn't even address climate change and global warming. So I just ask people, do you feel safe? Period. If the answer to that is no, you don't, then you need to vote with Black women, because 94% of them voted against who's currently in office.
Hmm.
94% of Black women voted for Hillary. We knew better. We were trying to tell everybody. Nobody listened. Now look at us.
Yep. Here's where we
So
are.
here's where we are. So I
Here's
tell
where we
people all the
are.
time, just vote like a Black woman. We
Yep.
get
Get
it
out there,
right.
guys. Vote, read, educate yourself, do whatever you need to
Please.
do. It really matters now. It really, really does. It really does. So, well, thank you so
Yes.
much for joining me. You are the best.
Thank
I love
you.
you so much. I wish you all of the success with everything having to do with Like That Productions, and more importantly, your commitment to making the world better, because that's what we need. You're, let's see, 25 years younger than I am, so I'm expecting great things. All
Thank
right,
you. And once
everyone.
again,
Thank you
thank
for
you,
joining
Steph,
us.
for
And you
having
guys,
me.
listen up. Ship with Steph's going to do some really cool, transformative things over the next few months. So stay tuned. All right. Love you guys.